Hello, Tubers. It's also darkest day of the year, enjoying things where the sun don't shine. So, so I got this '09 Traverse, replacing the Trailblazer that's sitting over there for sale. I kind of think I should have just run it into the ground, but it has OnStar, as some people know, and it gives me the option. It has the programming in there for Bluetooth capability, but it doesn't have a Bluetooth hardware in the car. And you would have to replace the VCIM unit, which is around a $500 unit, or you got to use one off of eBay for around $250. But you still got to pay another $150 to have a dealer program it with your VIN number of the car in it, in order for OnStar to be able to talk to the car when you push the buttons. And they use that as a locating beacon. Now, I always thought OnStar was actually satellite driven, but it's not. It's actually working off of the cell towers. In this case, it's AT&T. Although I suppose they would use any cell tower to connect to it. They use that to triangulate your location. I think it's still cool to think of it as satellite, but in reality it's not. So I bought this VCIM unit off of Amazon for $100, and my Bluetooth worked, but my OnStar wouldn't, because it needs that your VIN number put into the unit. And the problem with that unit was made for 2014 and not a 2009. So there was a software level that it wouldn't work with. So OnStar gave me 3 months free of their package for taking over the vehicle, and I decided to go with that because it has free towing package on it with the 3 months. So it's all these little things. What are you willing to pay for? What are you not willing to pay for? So I did really like the Bluetooth connection with my cell phone, because then I can drive and talk at the same time. And really the only times it comes in handy is talking to my kids, who seems to want my undivided attention. And it's a lot easier to drive a car not having to hold a cell phone. And in places like New York, you have to have hands-free anyway. So I got this module here. I got it from Crutchfield. You can get these on Amazon and other places, but Crutchfield, they give you a bunch of stuff on the car, how to get into the car, how to get this thing out of the car. You have to take off like this here. I didn't know that. This had to be come off in order to get this whole cowling off, because there's a tab that goes under it. I wouldn't have known that. I probably would have snapped it off. So essentially what you're doing is you unplug the cables out of the back of the head unit. They give you a harness that plugs through the unit. So all the wires can still go through the harness, except it has a harness that comes off the harness that plugs into this iCIPL unit. And then you have a microphone. Now, I'm going to have to figure out how to get the microphone up here where it really needs to be. That's step 2. But at any rate, just to show you that it works, everybody knows this song. Hopefully YouTube won't flag me for it. So that's actually coming off of my cell phone. And I just have, I've been given hard times about this from some people, saying that old people like phones like this because they're simple, and gee, old people are too stupid to use a smartphone. Well, you know what? I can use a smartphone. But this little baby is an AT&T phone. Has no contract on it. I pay $45 a month. I practically have an unlimited amount of minutes on it only because I don't talk a lot on it. And I get carryover. So I'm not ready to go with a smartphone, and I don't need a smartphone. And if you need to get a hold of me, you know my phone number. Otherwise, you send me an email, and I get to it when I get to it. Blah, blah, blah. This is supposedly waterproof. I've dropped it a number of times. I've had this probably a good 5 years. And it's a good little phone. It's called the Rugby. This is the original Rugby 1. They've been replaced with a Rugby 2, 3. The only downside about this phone, which applies to using the aux plug in the car, is that it only has one connector on it, and that's this one. And it's a micro USB. So if you want to charge the phone and listen to music at the same time, it isn't happening. The newer phone Rugbies, they have an optional plug for it, which I'm probably going to eventually have to get, because this isn't going to last forever. The camera is kind of messed up, but it's still a good phone. So now the only other challenge to this here is getting all these cables into this hole so that I can get this back on. Unfortunately, the unit, the AC controls is not as deep, so it should work. And then the other thing is to route this cable here for the microphone someplace where it really works. Now on the OnStar one, it's up here. It's there. This is a fake one. Now if they put one on both sides, the passenger could talk on the that thing very easily. So right around here is really good. The only thing is, if I turn my head this way while I'm talking, it doesn't really pick it up. So somewhere around here I'm going to put the mic, maybe over here. I still have to figure out how to get it there, but I'll get it there. And yeah, I'm just going to run it across. I think I'm going to run it across under here with some tape. Get it over under here, come around and come up the cowling, and then stick it maybe like right there. And that's a good spot. But you know, while I got you, it's going to be a longer video than I want. I found this little thing online. And basically, it's a little plug, it's a little thing. And I'm not very prepared here. So I'm sorry for look at the forest while we're talking. Nice pond over there. Iced over, I'm sure. Alright, so there's this little goobie. And essentially it has a magnetic plate. They give you, I don't know, a couple of them, different ones, magnetic plates. And you take it and you clip it to your thing, like that. And if I had installed the plate by now, and I knew where to put down my cell phone, which I don't, and I'm sure it's in here, I could mount my cell phone right there, or I could mount the GPS there, and I'd be all set. Because that's been kind of a challenge, where to put the GPS. Right now I have OnStar GPS for 3 months, so, but, you know, those little quirkinesses. The car is really designed that you would have a head unit that has navigation in it, and it would interface with your phone, and you don't need any of the goobs and gabs. The only other thing would be a little camera mounted to the back of the visor so that you could, you know, videotape your travels. But yeah, just fun times. So if you're wondering in the last vehicle what that coil of copper wire is, that's what I was going to use as a snake. But you know, I'm going to use it, I don't think, for what I was thinking of using it for. So for too long of a video, ta-ta, peaceful enough for all, peaceful enough for all, peaceful enough for all.